Listen, the financial system is changing right in front of us, right? So, in this video, I'm going to go over how real assets are being tokenized and why I picked up a crypto this week, so I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to talk about how the financial landscape will be ran off of the backs of certain cryptos, right? I always talk about Bitcoin. Y'all know Bitcoin is like a new form of currency, but there are some other cryptos that have very great use cases that can help build. And most likely will build the financial infrastructure of the future, right? Because the future of finance will eventually be on the blockchain. And the blockchain is basically how cryptocurrencies work. So the stock market and other assets will be powered by the blockchain. If you notice, Trump is very pro crypto. BlackRock and all of these companies are making spot Bitcoin ETFs and Ethereum ETFs. So crypto is the future, and only holding Bitcoin could be a mistake, right? So I want to talk about Ethereum, right? Ethereum, and this is all as far as like which crypto is the best one for the future to invest in. This is all speculation, right? Because the crypto landscape, there's so many. It doesn't mean that one crypto will run the entire financial future in the future, right? There could be a combinations of cryptos, but the number one, the strongest cryptocurrency platform is going to be Ethereum platform. I feel like most of the future financial assets will be ran on Ethereum's blockchain, but Ethereum's fees are a little costly and their transactions are a little slower. So I do think a combination of either Ethereum, Solana, and Avalanche will be kind of like the backbone of the financial system in the future, where crypto is running the financial products. So you do want to get into crypto sooner than later. And if you don't know too much about Ethereum, I would look it up. They consider Bitcoin to be like digital gold and Ethereum to be more like the digital internet, right? And I got a book, I just re-listened to it recently. If you want to learn any more about Ethereum, and I'm gonna pull up the book for y'all right now, and then we could get into the portfolio update. But I was re-listening to it, and Ethereum is a very strong blockchain. I don't know if y'all can see it every time I try to show y'all, but Mastering Ethereum is the book that I just recently re-listened to, and it's basically like the internet. It's basically like the cryptocurrency internet. So since I'm speaking about Ethereum, let me pull up the portfolio because I did recently add Ethereum to the portfolio. Right. So we got about $3,000 in assets. As y'all can see, I got Ethereum up there. I got a small percentage. I probably just dropped like $20 in there, but I will be adding more to Ethereum. And another thing that I'm doing with Ethereum, so with stocks, you have dividends, but you have certain cryptocurrencies where you can stake the crypto, right? Basically, you're just locking the crypto in the contract and you're getting paid on a recurring basis through you're getting paid on a recurring basis through that cryptocurrency. So I am staking um, Ethereum as well. So every time I get Ethereum, I'm going to buy Ethereum, I'm going to stake Ethereum. But Ethereum is the future, the backs of finance. Ethereum will be the infrastructure of running the or tokenizing real life assets. And like I said, I do feel like Solana and Avalanche could be a part. I don't think it's going to be a one crypto to power the entire financial markets, but I do feel like Ethereum is going to have a big priority in the future in financial markets. So let's look at what we've been doing this week in the portfolio. So in the portfolio, we're dollar cost averaging into the S&P. I do know ExxonMobil is paying a dividend. So let's let this thing pull up. I should be adding more to ExxonMobil to be real because the dividend is pretty good. To be real, where's the dividend? So I only have 1.7 shares, and the dividend I'm getting paid, if y'all can see, ExxonMobil is paying me $1.76. ExxonMobil paid me $1.76 for just 1.7 shares. So ExxonMobil pays about $1 per share, which is a really good dividend, right? So we got ExxonMobil. Let's pull up the rest of the portfolio. I know we got Nvidia. Nvidia this week, Nvidia did take a drop. But I wanna get into that too. Nvidia did take a drop this week, which, you know what I'm saying? It's the powerhouse of my portfolio. I'm not afraid of Nvidia dropping, but I don't know if y'all was paying attention, but UCare did explode. Did explode. So we up about $453 total. About 62% of the portfolio is Nvidia, right? And we're going to talk about why NVIDIA is going down and how to ignore the noise when you're looking at your favorite investments, right? So NVIDIA has been going down because Trump has been trying to limit some of their access to China. And NVIDIA was kind of like, well, we don't sell them our best chips anyway. So China was kind of boycotting NVIDIA a little bit. But when you look at certain things will like make like, okay, well, okay, the news dropped the stock, but the stock is not really worth dropping, right? 13% of Nvidia's revenue is from China. Do you think China sales is going to affect Nvidia whatsoever? Not just 13%. Nvidia is not going to be strongly affected by just 13% from China. So Nvidia dropped because of the markets, but China is not enough to hurt Nvidia's revenue for real like that. It's not enough. So the news will try to shake you out of investments, but as long as you stand behind your investment, then you don't got nothing to worry about. My best player for last week, the best play in my portfolio was United Healthcare. If y'all see on IG or anything, I've been watching United Healthcare for a while. Last week, I finally pulled the trigger. I got 1.3 shares of United Healthcare, and United Healthcare is up big. And I'm going to get into why United Healthcare did a big jump this week. But United Healthcare, I got, look at that. I got what, like 1.3 shares, not too much, but a total return of $75 on United Healthcare. I've studied Warren Buffett for a very long time, and using Warren Buffett's principles is what led me to United Healthcare. So I got into United Healthcare before Warren Buffett did, but mostly the big reason for that big jump is because Warren Buffett did recently purchase United Healthcare, and the stock went crazy. Let me pull that up for y'all. So Warren Buffett's recent United Healthcare purchase. All right, let me make sure y'all can see this. So United Healthcare. So Warren Buffett just purchased 5 million shares of United Healthcare at approximately 1.6 million. So that's what really made, the stock really jump like that. So I got in probably a week to 2 weeks before Warren Buffett did. And because I jumped into play sooner than he did, I was actually able to get great a great early return on United Healthcare. It's only 13% of my portfolio. I do intend on increasing the amount that I have in United Healthcare. Um, so United Healthcare is doing good. I mean, the whole portfolio is doing good, to be real. Um, I do like ExxonMobil's dividend. I ain't know it was about $1 a share. That's great passive income. So this past week I bought Ethereum, I added a little bit to Nvidia, and I added to United Healthcare, and I probably bought an additional share of SoundHound AI. So we gonna look at me versus the S&P this past week. This past week, we only up 1.1% on the portfolio. If we compare it to the S&P, let's see, we compare it to the S&P, what I say, we have 1.15. If we compare it to the S&P for the past week, S&P is only up 1%. So last week we smacked the market across the head. Last week was real basic. Last week was real basic. Let's go to 3 months so we could really see. You know what I'm saying? 3 months, S&P is up 8.92% in the past 3 months. 8.92, the S&P is up, but we are up. Well, I say the S&P up 9.2. S&P up 9.2 in 3 months. Come on, 3 months. S&P up 9.2 in 3 months. We're up 17.52 in 3 months, which means we in 3 months we basically doubled the returns of the S&P 500. So my next move, depending on how the market goes, it depends on how the market goes as far as to what I'm going to add to my portfolio. I do want more of Ethereum, so I'm going to buy more Ethereum. Bitcoin, I'm only adding to on significant stock market drops and recurring basis. Bitcoin is a store of value. Ethereum, I'm probably want to drop at least another 100 to 200 for the next couple weeks. We'll see how my finances go, but I will be adding a lot more to Ethereum to catch Ethereum before it changes the financial space completely. Um, if the stock market is going down, I may add a little bit to United Healthcare too, so United Healthcare can continue to gain some appreciation. But I may also get Nvidia at a lower price because, as y'all can see, the news can make something go down. But if you look at the worry about Nvidia right now, which is China is only a small percentage of Nvidia's income. So Nvidia don't need China. So the news is really just allowing you to get Nvidia at a cheaper price because that 12% of money that they're getting from China is not going to break Nvidia. I hope y'all beating the market just like I'm beating the market, man. If this video was helpful, I do this every week. Go back and look at the rest of my portfolio updates. I'm Mike the Money Motivator, man. Y'all like and subscribe.